Dímelo mi gente, what's going on? It's your boy AJ El Callejero, se dice AJ en tu radio, aquí en lamusica.com, 931amor.com, and we got, I know you must know this guy definitely, from Metallica, que viva el rock, Robert Trujillo. What's going on, my brother?
Hey man, it's all good, it's all good.
I'd like to first of all say thank you for being here. I know you're a busy guy, all over the world traveling. How was the experience yesterday at Yankee Stadium with Mariano Rivera Day?
That was a very intense, memorable moment in my life. To be there in that, the history behind the team itself is so incredible. And it at one point, when I was standing on the field next to like Derek Jeter or A-Rod, I was like, man, we're in a rock band. What are we doing? This is incredible, you know? And to be welcomed into that family that way was amazing. And Mariano, I mean, he's such an icon, and it was definitely history. And to have just a little bitty piece of that was really, really exciting.
Without a doubt, especially him coming from, Panamanian descent, you coming from Mexican descent. It was, and it's also Hispanic Heritage Month. I mean, so
it is, yeah.
It's a win-win situation for everybody. So talk to me about this movie, Through the Never. What can people expect from this movie?
This film is a wild ride. It's for one thing, it's bringing the viewer to. We play in the round, 360. Okay. So you're bringing the viewer on stage, and basically the viewer is seeing what we see. It's from our perspective. We wanted to capture that because we felt that it hadn't been captured in previous concert films. Okay. So the actual concert footage is shot in a very unique way. The other thing is we didn't want a sort of traditional, sort of MTV style, director, of course, like a music video director. So we got Nimrod Antal, who's basically, he's got a lot of fire and passion, and he took this project on when a lot of directors were afraid to take it on, and he was fueled by it. But he's a cinematic director. So his perspective and his ideas from the stage were amazing. Now the band itself wanted to bring a narrative into the film rather than just doing another concert, film, which we've already done several of those. We felt the need to bring in this narrative, and luckily Dane DeHaan, who's an amazing actor, and he's on this wild ride just upwards in his career. He was able to find the time and be a part of this experience with us. So you've got two worlds basically. You've got performance, but it's intertwined with this narrative, this thread that takes you on this wild ride and this journey, and you don't know if it's real or what it is.
So, speaking about the wild line and the journey, it's like he was interning for you or something for you guys?
Well, the idea is, not to give it away, but...
of course not, you gotta watch the movie.
You gotta see the film. But basically he's a runner, and every venue that, if you're in a band and you're touring out there, you show up, in this case, okay, let's say in Mexico City, we actually, to prepare for this show, we'll get into that later.
Okay, yeah, definitely.
We did 8 shows in Mexico City and 10 altogether because there were 2 production rehearsals, but you would have a production assistant or a runner, as they're called. And a lot of people were trying to call Dane a roadie. They were referring to him as a roadie, but a roadie would be like the bass tech or the guitar tech. In this film, the character's name is Trip, played by Dane DeHaan, and Trip is a runner, so he's sent out on an errand. He's a Metallica fan, he really wants to see the show, but he's also got a job to do. So he's sent out to go run this errand. We don't know exactly what it is, because that's kind of the mystique of the story. But then once he gets out on the streets, it becomes mayhem, and he encounters evil in various ways, and it's basically survival mode, and that coexists with the film. So it's a very exciting, wild journey, and uniquely shot, 3D, IMAX. The sound is amazing. Yeah, it is. The floor is massive. And then the colonnade level, meaning the second story, there was chain link fence. Wow. And the Mexicanos were just like, and singing to like every song. In fact, the a lot of the vocals that you will hear in Through the Never are actually the crowd from Mexico,
Wow.
Mexico City, because they were so good that we had to bring them into this. So I always, want to thank the people of Mexico and Mexico City, Ciudad de Mexico, because the passion was so there. And we wanted to film in Mexico, man. We wanted to, but
For the next one, Mexican American,
Right.
going back there, and
Right.
you basically represented the Latinos
Yeah.
in a group like Metallica.
Yeah, I mean, my mother was actually born in León, Guanajuato. She was born in Mexico. So
Did you get hit with the correa?
I was no, what happened was actually she was born there, and then she moved to the States when she was very young, like maybe 3 years old. But my grandfather and my mom's mom was actually born in Los Angeles, and then came down to Mexico when she was very young. But
Your favorite Mexican plate?
Enchiladas. But I also like chicken mole,
Okay.
But the problem is I get acid reflex now, so I can't.
Man, spicy
reflex,
food.
yeah.
So you guys have done it all, right? What's next for you guys? What's going on for 2014, 2015?
Well, 2014 we're going to concentrate on a new album, and
Okay.
2015 we're going to release that new album. All these incredible sort of detours we've had in the last couple of years have taken us away from the creative process of songwriting. We had about 6 weeks of songwriting before we went on the road, because we went to South Africa, we went to Australia and Asia. So we got about 6 weeks in, and we were having such a good time. And Lars was even saying it was the best time he's had in the history of the band writing. We were just jamming. So I look forward to reconnecting with that and taking on that challenge. I mean, one thing I could say is that Metallica, since I've been in the band, which is going to be 11 years in February, time flies. But I tell you, Metallica is built around challenge and taking on, like we made an album with Lou Reed a couple of years ago, and everybody thought, man, that's impossible. You can't do that. You can't intertwine these two. But we did it, and we're proud of it. And some people loved it, some people hated it. And that's how it is with our fans. There's kind of a love-hate with the decisions that we make, but 9 times out of 10,
That's
they
what
come back.
separates you guys from the rest, right?
Yeah, we take chances for ourselves, and we like to try things, and that's what makes our music unique most of the time, I think.
Growing up as a kid, did you ever picture yourself being where you're at today?
Yes and no. I mean, funny story was, I played in Ozzy Osbourne's band for 7 years, and I grew up playing Ozzy's music in backyard party bands when I was 17 years old. And then, and all of a sudden, I'm standing on stage with Ozzy playing Iron Man. That's kind of where the crab walk came. As a joke, I got really low and I got in his face during Iron Man, you're dun, 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 and then he started doing this to me, and it stuck ever since. Yeah. But also, before that, my big break was Suicidal Tendencies, and I grew up in the west side of Los Angeles, what they call Dogtown, which is Venice, Santa Monica, in that area. And there was a huge skateboard movement. I'm an active surfer, so I was a part of that movement as a skater surfer. And I joined Suicidal Tendencies when I, kind of mid-20s, and that set me off. And and I always got to thank those guys, because without them, I wouldn't be here with Metallica.
But that's awesome. I guess your humbleness is what got you where you're at today, because we've always been thankful. I know you're a busy guy to be here for a very long time, but don't forget, check out the movie. It comes out this Friday. Support it. Thank you so much.
Thank you. You'll love it. Promise.
Amor 93. Más música, menos comerciales.